I don't know, have we had enough yet? What's up, everybody? We are back at it again on the motorcycle. Today is a Thursday in Milwaukee, and that means it's bike night. So every Thursday for the majority of the summertime, I believe it starts in May to make sure that the weather's actually okay for it, and then it goes through till I think about September. So we'll be making 2 stops today. One of them at the Harley-Davidson Museum and the other one at the Iron Horse Hotel. The Iron Horse is a boutique hotel in the Walker's Point neighborhood of Milwaukee. Really cool area. A lot of industrial stuff and cool place to ice cream and a lot of antiquing over there. A lot of bikes come out for bike night regardless of what type of bike you ride. Obviously the Harley-Davidson one is sponsored by Harley, but they truly don't care what you bring. And there's often live music, and they've got a whole restaurant over there. It's cool to hang out at. I actually haven't been to the Harley end in a little while. Last bike night I went to was the Build Moto one, and that was for the high school students' custom bikes. It was a fundraising thing, and they did a little award ceremony, and they got to share or showcase all their bikes. So that was pretty cool. And I just zipped right to the Iron Horse for that. The 2 places are right over the bridge from one another, so you could theoretically park at one and walk or ride over to the other. And on a beautiful summer night, it's so nice to do that. Hopefully we'll see some cool bikes. Not sure how social of a mood I'm in today, but I'm gonna do my best. I really want to get some tacos from the Iron Horse. I think they have tacos. I hope so. I'll check that out. There's usually a pretty good chance of me running into someone I know too, so we'll see about that. I don't know if it's kind of confirmation bias and now I'm looking for them, but everywhere I'm seeing Dodge Challengers and I want one. They must be pretty popular because I seriously see them everywhere. Although I'm kind of car blind to like every other kind of car, the Challengers are just so cool. I'm not sure if I've talked about this a whole lot on the channel, well probably not, but I actually don't own a car. Some people think that's a crazy thing to do in a place with such harsh winters, but honestly it's made possible by city living. I don't think I could pull it off in Wisconsin if I lived somewhere more rural or if I had a long commute. The nature of my work is that I decide where my office is. The world is my office. I do have office space, but you know, some days it's nice to venture out or go to a cafe and get re-energized or just hop on the bike and change locations. In really, really bad weather, I could work from home, and in the nicer weather, I'm of course riding the bike. So I make it work. Talked about it in the minimalism and motorcycling video. But yeah, no car for me, age 26. It's just kind of, it'd be more of a burden than a benefit at this point. I don't have a great place to keep a car. I don't want to pay for a car payment, and right now I don't really need one, so I've never owned a car. I've made it this far without one. Obviously I've borrowed cars and I have my driver's license, but never had a car of my own. For a time had a subscription to this service called Zipcar. You can rent cars by the hour, and that's a really great option because in the USA you can't rent a car under the age of 25. Obviously I'm older than that now, so it's not really an issue, but it is cool that they just have these little parking areas, and there's a lot of different pick up and drop off spots where the cars live. You can just pick your car based on what you need. They have more discreet ones that don't have the big Zipcar logo on them. I've picked up people from the airport using that, and it's a really super duper handy service. So a lot of anybody in the city, if you are curious about how you can just rent a car to do groceries, or you can do day rentals, but that's a really convenient solution if you don't want to deal with car ownership, because oftentimes it is a bear. Oh, it looks like that. I don't know if you noticed what just went down or if I'll leave it in, but I came right here just in time for the bridge to go back down. We have all these little bridges that go over the water in Milwaukee. The Milwaukee River runs right through the middle of downtown, so we just went over it there. All of the different bridges, they need to be able to lift up in case there's kind of a tall boat that has to go through. So sometimes traffic in the middle of downtown is paused because they got to get a big old boat through. Wonder if these guys were at bike night. Once you start to get closer to the viaduct and where everyone else is going over the bridge to get to bike night, you start seeing a lot of bikes. So I wouldn't doubt if this person were going to bike night too. It's so funny when people think about brand loyalty so staunchly, because I mean, it's not like you only wear one clothing brand, and brand loyalty is kind of a fallacy to me completely, because these are corporations. Like brand loyalty only makes sense to me if I like personally know the people who run the thing, but otherwise it's legitimately just kind of a silly mentality to have, is to be so blindly devoted to a company. Yeah, I think of brand loyalty and I think of the brands of people I know and trust their values and who I really want to support. Like, I know the guy who runs Twisted Road. We've grabbed coffee and he just lives over in Chicago. And I know Sarah Vaughn of Danger Design Co. So if you're trying to get a tank bag, photography friendly bag, it can be tank bag, backpack, sissy bar. Definitely check that out if you're in the market for some luggage. I think that's why people are connecting with my brand, because you know, I'm very much involved in it. It's like against my natural instincts. Look at all these people. It's against my natural it's against my natural instincts to even want to be in front of the camera and all that stuff, but I just know how valuable it is, and I know how people connect, and I know how important a certain amount of visibility is. So here I am, Meghan Stark, Great Lakes Supply Co. Alright, look at all these people. So here's our museum up on the left. Usually I go really fast over that bridge, but sometimes it depends on the traffic, and I think it would have been bad for motovlogging. My visor is not super attached right now. You can see it's already pretty hopping. I think it starts at 5, so we're an hour and a half in. Honestly, I think I'll just poot through and then circle back and go to the Iron Horse because I'm hungry. I mean, they have food here, but do they have the tacos I want? I don't know. Seems like a lot of commotion over here. I know inside at the Iron Horse, you can find some nice quiet spots, so that's gonna be my plan. Honestly, it's so heartwarming to just hear all those rumbles and everyone's just blazing over the bridge. I love that. Look at all these people that I don't want to talk to. I don't know, have we had enough yet? I don't know if it's such a weird move to zip through and immediately leave, but I mean, I'm gonna leave actually. Oh shit. I knew that shit wasn't on. Alright, so I had to talk to some humans because my visor like fell off. And now I'm a sitting duck. I gotta get out of here. Yeah, it's funny. So I made that. Wow, that's pretty wild. I made that video about motorcycling and introversion, and it really does pair well together. And it is nice riding and just doing your own thing, but I don't know, the introversion thing, like I am physically repulsed by some social situations, man. I don't want to have like fewer experiences because of it, and I don't want to be avoidant. It's it's not quite social anxiety. I've definitely experienced social anxiety before, but it's just this kind of like, oh man, I don't totally want to be here. And even though we're all here for essentially the same reason, and you know, I can talk to moto people and it can be fun, but sometimes I'm just not in the headspace. And especially sometimes being the female motorcyclist, you can't help but get noticed at these events and stuff, so it's kind of like very hard to be low-key. So yeah, I don't mind meeting new people and stuff, but most of the time I'm not invigorated by meeting new people, especially on a weekday, a week workday and stuff. It's like physically taxing. So who knows? I'm probably gonna get a taco, look at a couple bikes, be forced to talk to some people, and then after this I'm going to a show. I love going to shows because you can't really do a whole lot of talking at gigs. Just gotta listen to music. So that's on the docket for tonight. Okay, I have to admit that was pretty fun. So I, didn't end up getting any tacos. It appears as though they don't offer tacos there. But I had a BLT with an egg on it, and I ended up, I was sitting at the bar inside, and so many people that I knew ended up coming up to me and talking to me. So that was pretty sweet, I have to admit. First I was feeling pretty antisocial, but sometimes, they call it small walkie. You can't help but run into somebody, and especially with the moto community, like making small walkie even smaller. These people's radios are like totally messing with my brain right now. Yeah, I ran into Nick from Motofied. Motofied does awesome custom bikes, and he's got Wiscoat, which does, powder coating and stuff, so they do really cool things in town, and I met just that whole network of guys and gals. That was really sweet. I ran into this one dude who's an author, and he rides a Triumph in town. I was just sitting there eating my BLT, like holding office hours in there, so that was pretty funny. But yeah, it ended up being a nice time. I think I just felt super awkward rolling up because I didn't know. Yeah, sometimes being like a female motorcyclist, it's just like everyone's staring at you, and my bike is a Ducati, so it's like, kind of uncommon for Milwaukee. Usually I don't really notice like myself sticking out, but for some reason tonight I just felt like kind of self-conscious, but it be that way sometimes. But we handled it, and I had a really great time. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up here for the vlog. It's getting dark out. I'm going to a show, and then I'm hitting the hay because it's a Thursday and I gotta do stuff tomorrow. But thanks so much for tuning in. Like it if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe. There's a lot more fun that we can have in Milwaukee and other places, because I travel too. You guys are the best. I'll see you next time. Actually, you know what? One more layer to it is the fact that I definitely feel weird about vlogging around people. It just doesn't feel right to me. I like doing the vlog just on the bike and talking inside the helmet. Forgive me for not being so bold. But I like to keep it low-key and keep it authentic.